one?
Yeah.
You added
We
one.
grew. Look, we're multiplying every time you show up, and come on, and we're multiplying.
Well, welcome to the show. Most of you guys know this gentleman squeezed in the middle here between the two lovely ladies. That's Doug from Paratime, his wife Christy, and who's the other one?
Hi.
This is my oldest daughter, Ramsey. She's the one that kind of goes out with me once in a while and does the K2 and the spirit box and stuff like that. She's the adventurous one. Maybe.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, yesterday I was with Scott and Stephanie and their grandkids, and as soon as we got to the wooded areas, the kids just took the spirit box and the K2 and just gone.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a great idea, especially teaching them young. And then next thing I got to do is teach her how to pack my equipment, and then she can just break it down and pack it back up for me.
Yeah, right.
That works.
Right?
Yeah. Make sure everything. All right, so everything is appearing to be working, but who knows? But yeah, sorry about the early video, guys. Had a couple things come up for this evening, so I had to switch everything around. But you know, it works. It works.
Still all working out.
Yep. We weren't doing anything.
Anyway. Yeah, and it's Canadian Day or Canada Day.
Yeah.
Is it Canada Day or Canadian Day? Canada Day?
Canada
Day.
Canada
Day.
Yeah.
Well, happy Canada Day, guys.
Thanks. Right? But we're not doing much. We're just kind of chilling out at home.
Yeah, we're going to Tim Hortons.
Going to Tim Hortons, I guess. That's a priority.
I actually saw one yesterday. I saw Tim Hortons yesterday when I was in Warren. I was surprised.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because we heard you say that, and we're like, "Oh,
There's the Tim's in Pennsylvania." Yeah, didn't know that.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't know either. Actually, where I met up with Scott and Steph yesterday, it was right next door. It was there was a Wendy's and then a Tim Hortons, and then right across the way was Domino's.
Domino's.
Wow, who wants to eat there though? That piece of.
I don't know. Actually, it was funny because when we passed by, there was an ambulance and two cop cars with all their lights on. Going, okay, that doesn't look good. Don't use that for promoting.
Yeah. Don't put any reviews. Don't read the reviews.
No, just ignore that. That never happens.
I'm drinking the tea because I got my second COVID shot. Actually, we both did yesterday, and trying to stay hydrated and stuff, and drinking lots of water and stuff, but kind of feeling out of sorts. So she made me some tea and honey.
Mm-hmm.
I got my usual amp. And a little bag of, I missed my lunch, so bag of snacks. So,
oh, wait, what are those? Are those munchies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Love these things. Found them last night.
They look like Sun Chips.
Nice.
There are Sun Chips in it.
Yeah.
There's Sun Chips, Cheetos, Doritos, and pretzels.
Yeah.
See, that's what you do. You have a mismatch of everything in one. I love that stuff.
See, that's America, man. I mean, that's us right there. We get all of our favorites, throw it all together. Hey, let's go.
Yeah, everything's like buffet style, or just throw everything in one. That's it.
Hey, I love me a buffet. If you can't tell,
Yeah.
I love me a buffet. I will destroy a buffet.
Cheaper down there, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Worst part about a buffet, or the worst mistake to make while going to a buffet, wearing a belt. Mm-hmm. Wear stretchy pants.
Stretchy pants, yes, or gym pants. Just go gym pants, or sweatpants, whatever you guys call them. Just put those on. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And joggers.
I've seen so many rookie mistakes with.
We just live up and down from each other, like just, countries, and then we always, we always say, "What do you guys say?" We say this. What do you guys call that? I always find that U.S. and Canada call things different, Yeah.
Well,
awesome.
it's the same thing over in Thailand. When I was over in Thailand, they call things differently too.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's even different here in the U.S. Like more out west you go, something like this isn't soda, but here in PA we have a mix. You either call it soda, pop, or just Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it depends on where you go. And
We
like
say-
out in out in San Diego, they a lot of places out there they call it Coke. No matter what it is, it could be a Pepsi product, but they call it Coke.
Really? A Coke?
Yep. Like I've asked somebody for a Coke, and they're like, "Well, what kind?" A Coke, Coca-Cola. Oh, you want cola?
The Coca-Cola.
Wow. Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? Why would they call it one thing? I don't get that.
Well, a lot of people around here call it. Well, we have a lot of Dutch influence out this way, so you get a lot of like pop and stuff like that. I just call it soda. I just want a soda.
Yeah.
We'll be getting a lot of pops tomorrow night with the paranormal campfire, but
probably a different kind. They call them call them wobbly pops here.
I'm not talking about liquid. I'm talking about the ones where you light and just go wait for it.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah.
Those are different types of pops.
3 in the morning or something.
No, we get that every once in a while down here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We are live, so I don't want to go on record saying this, but I may or may not have a nice little bundle of bottle rockets that might find its way into the campfire tomorrow.
I was going to say, just randomly chuck one in when somebody's doing a serious story and just chuck it in the campfire.
Well, see, what I was thinking about doing is like having I'm going to have the campfire behind me so you guys can see, the gleam of it. And then I'll have my hands behind my back. And every once in a while, I'll just toss one.
Just pop one.
Just one in.
Wait for Scott or somebody to say, yeah, so we started walking down this trail and we were getting to the end and then we saw this figure and all of a sudden we heard boom. Oh, shit.
Just making it more personable. That's all. Just adding sound effects and stuff.
Sound effects, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what's more American is there than ghost stories, campfires, and alcohol, and a couple of idiots. That just works.
Yeah,
but we're all excited about it for tomorrow night. I can't wait. But today's video is, and right now I don't see anybody on yet, so they didn't get the word. So this will be for the future people.
Yeah, replays.
Yeah, exactly. That's always the best ones. Go back and people are asking all these questions afterwards, and I'm trying to figure out, did I answer that or not?
Yeah, all the last comment, yeah.
But if you guys are watching this in the future, don't feel bad. Go ahead and post your comments. Doug and I will do our best to answer them as we see them. I have tagged him and Paratime in this video, so we'll have some fun.
Why not?
But the one thing, though, Doug, you and I have been talking about mental health and mental health awareness, suicide awareness. We talked about this before. But another thing that's come up that seems to be, I don't want to say overlooked a lot, but kind of gets put in the back burner of your mind is safety. That is something that a lot of people have messaged me or have said on my Facebook page is, be safe, be safe, be safe. But there's some people that don't understand how much that actually safety plays into an effect when we're going out and we're investigating. So a lot of times we already have these figured out. So I just wanted to know, for Paratime, what do you usually do for your safety measures?
I just tightly wrap pillows as tight as I can in my front and back, and put on the hockey helmet, and away I go.
If you wouldn't have said hockey helmet, I would have called you out on that, being Canadian.
No, I think I think you're right. I think safety is, for some odd reason, for everybody, it's always an after effect, an afterthought.
Oh my God!
Is that Jack?
Look, Ram.
Is that a Jack Squishmallow?
That is.
Squishmallows are good. She's got like a whole bunch of them.
This is actually my wife's. I'm just
awesome.
using it for safety.
I do want that.
Yeah, that is sweet.
I have a Baby Yoda one.
Yeah, I think it's great. I love it.
I don't know if you got. Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, I just got some comfort now. I don't know if you guys have them, but we found this one at Spencer's Gifts in the mall.
Oh yeah,
Spencer's is
I have
great.
to check that out because
I love that
we do
place.
have one in the mall here. It's been a while,
but that's where we found that. Well, I think she found that one. I don't know if she's had it for a while.
yeah, it's true.
But I mean, there was a rumor going around that when Canadians are born, you guys don't just get a birth certificate, you get a hockey helmet too, right?
Yeah.
And every year, you know,
you just get bigger. You just size up.
yeah. You buy a full size adult one and you just put the kid in it, right? That's what happens.
Yeah.
And then they grow
They just
into it,
grow into
literally.
Yeah.
I can't.
The stork brings the babies in hockey helmets.
Yeah. I can't say anything because I'd be burned at the stake from Canadians, but I don't watch hockey.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, it's true. I don't watch hockey. International hockey I watch once in a while, but hockey I'm not a. I don't mind live hockey, but you know,
If the Canadian teams are playing, we watch. But
I'm more of a baseball fan.
Same.
Oh, I'm definitely baseball. No, I like the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm a Pittsburgh man all the way, except for my college. College football is Penn State, but I'm Pittsburgh all the way.
Penguins. Crosby is from next door here, from the Maritimes.
Yeah.
He's from right down here.
I don't care what anybody says. I love Crosby. He just has that attitude that I like. Mm-hmm. And we have our first guest, LOA Productions, aka Scott. I didn't know you were going on this early. Well, if you would check my Facebook, Scott, some things came up, Scott. So tonight's video is being moved to now. So that works. Sabres, when I do watch, have to love the older Gretzky. Oh, yeah. You can't call yourself a hockey fan if you don't like Gretzky.
It's true.
Gretzky's the GOAT, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so safety.
Yeah.
We'll get back on topic eventually.
Yeah.
Scott, this is a preview for tomorrow, so get ready.
It's only 12 minutes in. I mean, why talk about safety now?
Why not? We're still early.
So I agree with you, though. I think that safety to everybody, they like seeing the paranormal thing, the stuff caught on tape and all the adventure, like the edits and stuff we were talking before about how long it takes to do something. They see a great clip for 10 or 15 minutes, but they don't realize it takes 10 or 15 hours sometimes. And I think it's the same way with that. Safety is in the back burner. It's a second thought. They don't even think about that. They think about equipment, area, what they're going to do, but nobody thinks about safety, even externally outside the area while you're doing something. During an investigation too, there's lots of things to take in consideration.
Well, let's go over some of the basic safety. Let's go with, as an example, if I may, your last video you did on location in that place where you had like little to no service.
There is none. Yeah, it's like 2 foot thick walls,
which was fun. So, what kind of safety measures do you take when you're going to a place like that?
Well, first of all, I think the most important thing is to do when you're doing the walkthrough, when you're getting your baselines and stuff like that, is to take note of anything, not just any hotspots or any things that happen on your EMF or anything like that, but take note of certain areas. Like there at that place, there's a very steep set of stairs. Yeah. So you have to be aware of that and where that is. You have to be aware if there's anything like, especially with older places, you have to be watching where there's places for footing as well, where there's gaps and stuff like that. And I think that's very important. Low-lying beams, boards, stuff like that too as well. People don't realize, even cabinets and stuff sometimes that are hanging out. They might not be in the kitchen area and stuff. And you're going through because everybody's face is on the meters or on the SLS or on devices. So they don't realize you turn around and you smack your forehead off the corner of some cabinet that's there or something, or get a doorknob in the back in the spine.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah. So I think it's very important to kind of either mentally do it or verbally or something of different potentially hazardous situations in the area. It's a big thing.
Absolutely. And actually, what I tell a lot of newer founders of these teams whenever they're out there, because one of the things that when I'm working with newer teams, they ask me, founders come to me and say, how do I, figure out what good locations and this and that. The first thing I tell them is go during the day, a day like today, where it's, you guys can see how bright it is here. Actually, I had to close. It's so bright today. I actually had to close the shades because the white from my shirt was just whiting out everything. My camera was not. Oh, my camera hated it. And it's hard to shut a blind when there's a cat laying in the window. Yeah, you don't. One of the tortoise shells is laying in the window, and she's not moving. But No. Well, you go, but anyway, you go out on a day like today where it's really bright, really nice, and you walk around and just take little notes. I used to take a little notebook, little like handheld notebooks, tiny ones, and I used to mark down different things. It was in a cemetery, security, hours, times, if there was any down trees, stuff like that. Going in a home, how's the electrical look? And I would have a checklist: electrical, plumbing, foundation, structure, all that stuff, and I just mark it down.
You gotta be careful.
Make sure you're going over it with each and every investigator. Get your team together and say, okay, we're going to this location. This is what I found as far as safety is concerned. And then have a meeting spot. Always have a base set up. I don't care if you're doing a full-scale investigation or just wandering around. Have a base set up. Even if it's just like the vehicles. Yeah. And if something happens, that's where you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure you tape down your wires too.
Yeah, your wiring and stuff too for things. If you're running cables, that's right. Yeah, keep them taped down. Keep them. Make sure people are aware, or at least tuck them into the sides as much as you can. Like I try to run mine in the corners or down the side of stairs or whatnot. Try to keep it as tight as possible in the creases as well. Yep. But I agree with what Scott's saying too. Exactly. And I didn't want to say too much because I didn't want to ruffle any feathers with all these investigators and stuff, but I don't do pitch black investigations. I think that's stupid unless you're doing it in certain areas for certain particular reasons. But I do it in low light or in daylight because, like they always say, spirits when they walk, when they're around and when they were alive, they were pretty much up and doing their routines during the daytime, not in the middle of the night as well. So I mean, you can get a lot of stuff in the daytime more than you can at night a lot of times.
See, I like day and night investigating. Like what I did yesterday with Scott and his family. I enjoy that. Yeah. However, I have been in low light situations and I have been in complete darkness. I have investigated in absolute pitch black before. And honestly, I enjoy that. But here's the thing. Those investigations that have gone black, literally in the middle of the woods, no flashlight, no nothing. I've been in those woods maybe 1,000 times. I know my area. I know what's out there. I know, what animals and everything's out there. I know the safety first. I'm not just going to go out walking around blind.
And all willy-nilly. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Like, it is okay for people to walk around like cemeteries or wherever several times before you actually investigate it. And it's actually encouraged. I used to do that all the time. Out in San Diego, we would go out literally every day. And then we would say, okay, well, we would get a feel for that night and say, you know what? It doesn't feel right today. We'll skip tonight. We'll go to this place and we'll go check that out. And we would spend all day driving around. Let's see.
Sometimes we pre-visit too. Like sometimes I'll go even a week ahead of time to meet the person and to do, just to walk around and stuff even a week ahead sometimes before I even do it. It just makes sense.
Well, look at that time you guys went up behind the house to do a pre-visit and come find out there's people camping and living it in the back of our woods.
That's the other safety.
Like, what?
That's a big safety thing is people, especially in the woods or in old abandoned places and stuff, is people don't realize that sometimes there's squatters or other people in those areas that it's good to check out before you do it.
Well, there was the Presidio Mission out in Old Town San Diego. They had a lot of transients that would stay out there. And trust me, you don't want to walk up on one of them in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I mean, they were pretty cool about they were pretty understanding, but it's still creepy.
You don't want to do that.
Have a tape recorder every time through, make a couple of pics. Yeah,
exactly.
That's perfectly acceptable too.
Same thing. Any type of anything you can do to make yourself, whatever's easier to make yourself remember.
The only time I've seen 2 full-body apparitions was in a cemetery in bright sunlight. Yeah, and that's the other thing. The paranormal can happen at any time, day or night. It doesn't matter. I know a lot of investigators like doing it at night because you're taking away that sense of sight. I mean, if you look like behind me, there's a variety of different colors. Yeah. You take this away in low light, that just helps your hearing, you can see shadows a little bit better. It helps your senses. It heightens your senses. I guess
Yeah,
is the
I
right
think
word.
the nighttime too probably is like a mood setter. Everybody's more quiet
Yeah.
in the evening. It
Yeah.
sets the mood. Like it gets you pumped. Like,
and there's a lot less environmental contamination. Like
yeah,
during the day, obviously you got traffic, you've got
Mhm.
a bunch of people wandering around. Like if I went downtown right now, which I have today, there's people everywhere. I go downtown in the middle of the night tonight. There's nobody there. Maybe one or two
No.
cars, but that's it. But it does make things better. It just is personal preference, and it's just about comfort too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Which,
See, that's my thing. My thing with is different than a lot of people as well. That's why I like doing this, because you have different thoughts and opinions. I have different thoughts. Scott has different thoughts, and everybody likes it. That's why it's better to do this, to bounce it around. But see, I'm a kind of like a facts based guy. I'm kind of anal that way. I guess I never really broke it down on like, because it'll bore the shit out of you. But statistically and stuff too is in the daytime. I mean, even that, most sightings, you could probably bring up 10,000 cases of supposed sightings, and most of the times it's between dawn and dusk, probably 75-80% of the time. So I think it really depends on where you're going too, and what you're doing, because I mean, like I said before, I've done pitch black stuff, but I don't want to be moving around in pitch black, so I try to keep it safe and keep it in a certain environment that I kind of, like you said, kind of walked around before and know my way around before you end up on your face. But I think it is. But then again, my thing is at night, when you're taking away all that power, you're shutting off all that energy that you say that, but maybe you can answer this. All this energy that they're saying that spirits need to manifest, but you're cutting all of that out. How does that work, at night?
like, how do the spirits get their
yeah, because they say that you
ability?
drain off the batteries and stuff that you have because they have nothing else. But what else can you do at night to do that?
Well, the Earth naturally has an EMF field. It already has a magnetic field. There's a theory out there that some spirits will use that. They also can help you by using yourself or your equipment, and it also depends on the lunar cycle as well. It also depends if there's a full moon. They can use the lunar energy from that, and if there's solar flares, and actually, just like what Scott and I were talking about yesterday, a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot. If you really want to get like in depth in this, the paranormal isn't just okay. Let's go find ghosts. No, you can actually say, like I said, the lunar cycle. Is there a full moon out? That will play a huge role in it too. Was there a solar flare anytime soon? What's been going on? Is there geology based? What kind of stones are you walking on? Is there running water like the stream we were at yesterday? All that the spirits can use to help manifest themselves. It may not be as strong as the sunlight. And the other thing is too is a lot of these stones and crystals and stuff, if you're in the right area, they will actually soak up and absorb that energy from the sun. Like go to a cemetery in the middle of the night and feel around, and especially like if there was a hot day out, the headstones will still be warm.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. So it's just like the heat retention from that. The energy is the same way, because that's all heat really is just the energy. So like if you rub your hands, like my hands are normal temperature right now.
Yeah.
Probably, I'm assuming. But if I start creating energy like this, eventually your hands will start heating up, which they are. Yeah. It's the same principle.
Yeah. Just to create more energy, exactly. Well, the same thing as hers that you said about the sunlight. She does a lot of crystals and stuff and stones, and it's kind of like what you said. If and I was thinking, I was going to mention maybe even if you carried certain stones with you or whatnot, but she puts them out in the sunlight to kind of get charged or whatnot. You just lay them out in the sun for so long, and they kind of charge. So you mean maybe even bring in some of those,
even certain waters too, right?
Yeah.
Like certain crystals charge with water. So I mean, if you're around like a stream per se, maybe there's a certain stone around it that's helping the environment.
Could emit the power or energy.
Hold that thought. If I would have known we were working on, if I knew we were working with stones today, I would have been more prepared. But
that's what happens. That's what happens when we don't script anything.
And
What's that?
they are also a protection.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. Use it for lots of different sources.
A lot of stones have different traits, qualities, including charging. There are some lunar stones as well. Clear quartz. Clear quartz is a prime example. You can charge that or cleanse it in multiple environments. You can charge it in earth. You can charge it in solar. You can charge it lunar. You can even charge it through wind. But yesterday, talking about the streams and stuff, these are just some examples of some of the things I found yesterday. Some tiger's eye. Yellow tiger's eye. There's also a tiger's eye in here that I have never seen before. It's actually more of an orange tiger's eye.
Oh, that's cool.
I've never naturally occurring. But those can be used and they can be recharged. Now I found them in water, so naturally it's going to be recharged in water.
Yeah.
If you play Minecraft, you'll love this one. Obsidian.
Obsidian. Remember that in Minecraft?
Oh yeah.
Also known as Apache tears.
Oh, really?
Yep. That can be
Why
used in energy work and stone work. It's just what
Was
Native
that for-
Americans used to call it.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I
Must
don't know
be maybe
the lore behind it.
Maybe they
There we
ground
go.
it up.
There's another good piece. There you go.
Oh,
She's all set.
yeah.
And I got Mackenzie a bunch of these stones. Being Wiccan, she loves her stones and gems.
Oh, I have so many
And-
rocks too. If you're a rock collector, yeah.
Oh, we've got a bunch everywhere. I have clear quartz, rose quartz, obsidian, calcite, blue and green calcite. Let's see.
So I guess that being said too is that could be a good thing to bring with you at during night investigations. Certain things like that to keep or preserve energy instead of maybe draining your battery so much or draining your lights or whatnot might help.
These cards too.
Oh yeah, what are those? Is that the write up?
Those are
And
how's
so
the
they
crystals?
and then they tell you on the back.
Does it say how to charge them? What's this one? Clear quartz, yeah. Clear quartz, a witch's mirror. Yeah, and that's kind of the same thing. Kind of what you're saying. It's tells you how to take care of them and how to charge them and all that stuff.
And one of them,
Yep. And clear quartz I use a lot for protection or caging.
Yeah.
Those are the best that I found to use that for. And then I found this guy.
What is that?
So what's that one?
That is called Unakite. Unakite. And it's pretty, to my understanding, it's pretty rare to come across. It's not too. Really? Yep. And actually, I'm going to share this with. We'll do this live. Why not? I'm going to share this app with you, Doug, that I use.
Yeah.
Christy, I'll
So
send
like
it
a
to you as
recognition? So like a recognition one?
Mm-hmm. You just take a picture of it, and it'll tell you.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's
Actually,
cool.
I'd like to use that. That sounds like another show.
Yeah, we can do another show with that. No, that works.
Like I think that's
But-
a good thing to do when we're talking about that is crystals and energy and what to use and whatnot too. That's great.
Well, that's definitely gonna be one I'm gonna get my wife involved with because she loves this stuff. And actually, I found this paperweight, a tiger's eye. It's actually pretty heavy.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
But I probably brought home about 20
Tiger's
rocks
eye.
and stones.
Yeah. Care and cleaning.
The all-seeing eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, here's the thing.
Now-
too. Does the app say that? Like, if you define the tiger's eye or whatever, does that app tell you kind of like what it's for or whatnot too, or just kind of
We'll
identification?
find out. Well, I just have the premium one. I didn't actually
Because Yeah.
buy the good one.
this one does say about it's got healing properties for sure.
Oh, here we go. Let's see. Apache tears. We'll just go with that.
Oh, that's cool. You can actually stone them up pretty good.
Is it dangerous?
Or grind them up pretty good.
Huh. Expensive stone. Description. Physical properties. Texture. Chemical properties. Which that's
Well,
actually
actually,
really good.
I was going to say that's probably important.
I guess there's a blue kind of guy too.
Wait, what?
Yep.
There's a blue and red.
Apache Tears, powerful stone that is used to provide emotional healing and bring comfort to those in need. Now, again, that's also the obsidian.
Yeah, same thing.
So, yep.
Yeah.
Apache Tears and obsidian are the same stone. And
Sounds almost like an anxiety thing.
if you look, it might look a little familiar. The polished on the bottom.
Yeah. That one in the bottom
Yeah.
corner for sure.
That is actually manufactured. It's not. It's one of those ones that's been through a tumbler. They put almost like a clear coat and they polished it. They're good. They will work. But for me personally, I know Mackenzie feels the same way. Give me the natural stuff.
Yeah, all raw.
Like,
Yeah.
That's as raw as you can get.
Yeah. And definitely, I would say the natural state would be a heck of a lot better.
Mm-hmm. And it's easier to charge too because it's actually creating contact. There's no barrier.
Yeah. You're not shellacking it or varnishing it up or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that app apparently does have everything on there. So if you're watching this and are interested in that app that I was just talking about that I sent these to, let me know and I'll send you guys the link for it.
You can send it to me.
You did.
Already did.
Yeah.
Nice.
Send it to both of you. But there is a free part of it. There is a paid side to it as well if you want to like a premium thing, I guess. I'm cheap, so give me the free stuff.
Yeah, I don't like paying for nothing.
Right?
Yeah.
But anyway, and that's another thing is, investigating a place location isn't just walking out and wandering around. It's doing your research properly. So if you really think about it, us as paranormal investigators, we're historians, we're researchers, we're scientists, we're geologists, we're we're a bunch of different things all rolled into one. And that's what I love. I mean, this stuff, if you like say, you tell me I want to get into energy work, crystals, gems, stuff like that. Okay, well, what do you want to do? You know what I mean? How in depth do you want to get? Knowing what obsidian can do might help. But if you start getting into some things that have a negative energy, because there are stones out there that do provide negative energy or magnetic energy, like you're not going to go out with a magnetic stone and try to calm things down. No, because you're just creating a fear cage.
Creating more harm than good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, having resources and knowing and doing research is all part of safety. So, like I said, there's a lot to it.
That's why I always say too, like, key word is investigator. An investigator. It's not like it's not called a paranormal look arounder or a paranormal poker. Well, paranormal poker, that sounds bad, but it's
bring that up tomorrow night.
It's true though. It's you have to do a lot of different research if you really want to do it and do it right. You really have to do your due diligence and look around, outside, inside, background, foreground, like you said, underneath, over top, everything before you can say, oh yeah, that's true. Like this really happened or that happened, because you don't know unless you pay attention to what's going on or what happened.
Well, and also it's not just a matter of what happened. Like a lot of people go to like these historical places, and Scott will get to that. Scott's trying to take us on a tangent. Not time for a tangent yet, Scott. We're working on it. But it's not just, let's see. Okay. As an example, we'll go off of a possible trigger object. Just saying. Now, because I'm hungry, obviously I'm going to use food. Let's go with a regular Butterfinger here.
Ooh.
It's a haunted Butterfinger. We'll just say that, okay? You do your research on it. What is it? What's it made of? Do all your regular stuff. But one thing that a lot of people forget about is the why. Like, if I see that it's sitting here on my desk or wherever, why is it there? It's, you know what I mean? They don't think to that aspect, like with the stones and stuff like that. Let's say you find a really cool piece of obsidian. You're going through it. You do your research on it. You know everything about it, except for why is it there? Maybe it's a spot that doesn't usually have obsidian. Like I know the streams around me,
That's true.
can't
Yeah.
really find it. They're hard to find. And even
Yeah.
if you do find them, it's like little tiny pieces. If I start finding big chunks of it, why? Why am I finding big chunks of it?
Yeah.
A good example is yesterday, Scott and I were out at this creek collecting these stones. Well, I was collecting the stones. Scott's grandkids were playing in the water. Scott almost fell on his butt a couple times.
Oh, that would have been great footage. Just saying.
Oh, it was great. And and we started looking around, and then we noticed there were two really big stones. Most people would have just been like, it's just river rocks, just big pieces of rock. But then we noticed that they were cut. It almost looked like they were cut into a shape. And people forget, too, that it's not just what we know. It's pre-recorded history as well. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe that area had a settlement. I mean, it's a prime location for it. There's a water table or some kind of spring up the stream a little bit. Private area. You're in a valley. You're hidden. Yeah, there could have been. Could have been something. And it's
no idea.
It's something that's missed.
Or even what people, like you said, if you found that chunk somewhere, who would have thought that maybe even a couple hundred years ago, someone could have had that very piece and left it there or something after camping or something. You never know like how it got to a certain place. It could have been carried instead of just by nature or something too, which is kind of cool when you think about it.
Well, the other thing is too is, with the location of going, I mean, I know we're off of the safety aspect right now, but yeah, screw it.
It all ties in.
Yeah. But even in my area in central Pennsylvania, like I'm about 45 minutes to an hour north of Gettysburg. Who's to say that there wasn't troops and soldiers that came through?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Exactly. They could even have a piece of stone for luck or whatever they need or whatever they thought at the time too. They could have had it with them or something. It could have been on a pendant and that rotted away or something or anything.
Yeah. Or even just as simple, they dropped it.
Yeah. Just kind of,
I mean,
used as a weapon.
back then there wasn't really a lot of ambulances running around here. And, who's to say they weren't walking through? Maybe there was a camp somewhere. They were on their way back to, New York or out to Pittsburgh. They came up through this way.
Yeah, just
and
trudging through or whatnot.
Yeah, and I'm in a small town. Nothing really besides, the hospital is in this area. So I would assume that if there was a lot of, soldiers and whatever coming through, there's not going to be any records of it. Native Americans the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, this
They're
is
not going
all.
to document it.
So it's to know the history.
Well, the cool thing is that we're both on the East Coast here too, on the eastern side of North America. So that's where all the travelers came through, families, herds, groups of people, everything come all through the East, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So you don't know where everybody's been.
No, that's why it's today.
So and that's the thing. Like you can run across anything at any time, and it's good to have safety. Here we go. It's good to have safety measures in place. For those things.
Yes.
But I mean, even with me, whenever I go out, like we went to the cemetery locally here. We call it now Big Kitty Cemetery for this reason. This is a cemetery we've been to probably 40 or 50 times. And the one night we were out there, this other founder and I were just kind of wandering around doing our own thing, watching the teams, listening in on the questions, because I mean, sound will carry. And we're listening to our teams, just having fun. And all of a sudden he stops me and he goes, "Matt, we need to back up." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Back up." I look over to my left and there's a little how all cemeteries have that little cutout spot for overfill.
Yeah.
I look and there is a mountain lion sitting on
Seriously?
one of these cuts.
Yeah, you want to get the hell away.
This was in the middle of town. And it was probably about 20 feet from us. Had to have a safety in effect for that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Scott said too down there. If you're outdoors, keep in mind wildlife can be dangerous.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
you gotta watch.
Now here's the other fun thing. When it comes to the glowing eyes, bless you.
I like tormenting. Sorry.
But when you find glowing eyes and stuff like that, a lot of people will automatically go to, as I call it, the Zat effect, and just say it's a straight up demon.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's another thing. As investigators, you need to understand and you need to figure out. Like, I know, being from Central PA, white-tailed deer eyes will shine very differently than raccoon eyes and cat's eyes. They shine differently, and all the different animal creatures, their eyes will glow differently, and they have different movements. Red eyes will actually show up in a lot of, believe it or not, I believe it's feline eyes will start glowing red.
And you never know. Like even with you guys probably have that there, but wolves and coyotes and stuff too, probably their eyes would reflect differently than, say, like you said, a feline, like a mountain lion or something too, or versus a raccoon or a bear, like a black bear or something, a brown bear would be different.
Now, I mean, if you're seeing the eyes like 10, 15 feet in the air, that's no coyote.
Yeah,
especially if you're in the middle of the field and there's something. No,
if it travels really fast too, you don't want to.
And I've had that. I've had that actually 3 times, to where I was in a cemetery both times. There was a ravine in San Diego behind the cemetery. I was walking and I crossed these little things of headstones, which we'll talk more about this tomorrow because this is one of my favorites. There was a pair of red eyes that were about right here, about maybe 2 feet off the ground. And I thought it was an animal, which most people would. And then it stood up to about 9 feet, and I went, "You're bigger." Bye.
Yeah,
and I backed up. And then that was one, and then I had another one, and I had another one where I turned the corner, and there's something about 10 feet standing there with red eyes looking down at me.
Yeah,
and I was like,
"Yeah, see." There's no polar bears around there, so yeah.
And see, that's the thing. That's all you have to do. That's all you can do at that point is just kind of laugh it off and go, "Bye."
Yeah, you want to get out of Dodge.
And here's the thing: living or paranormal doesn't matter. That's going to hurt you. We said it was a deer. He said it was coyotes. That's very possible. Very possible.
I think that's one thing that we're talking about now too. If we're talking about safety, and a lot of people again don't take into consideration, is when you're doing investigations in open air, like extreme heat, dehydration, extreme cold. You could not keeping your body temperature up, not staying hydrated, not keeping food in you for energy and stuff too. That's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Even
Always eat.
To trespassing.
Yeah, trespassing too. Yeah.
And condemned areas, you shouldn't be going into abandoned buildings. And
I always told people that if you're going to go to a public area or semi-public area, always get permission. Let your local authorities know that you're going to be there. Well, ask if you can be there, or even if it's a privately owned, get the owner's permission in writing. Take it to the local authorities, show them, and just tell them, this is where I'm going to be. Here's the signed permission from the owner. I just wanted to let you guys know, because I've had it happen where cops have been called. And sometimes they're not too. Sometimes they're not too happy. And as far as like the eating is concerned, I always made it a point, especially when I was going to clients' homes. We would get together at like we always investigated at night. We would get together around 3:00. From 3 to 4, we would have a meeting. We would have a game plan in place. We'd have everything set up, and then we would go to dinner. We would always go to dinner and make sure everybody was fed and happy and healthy and everything else. And then we would go load up the equipment.
Yeah, and hydrate while you're outside and stuff too, like big, battlefields and cemeteries and stuff. That can if you don't keep hydrated, you don't want to do that. It's dangerous.
Let's see.
Oh.
Like when Steph and I was at the Morrison Run area, that's where we were yesterday. And we felt things not going good or left. Instead of trying to find something, we had nothing on hand to keep us safe. And,
goes into intuition for sure.
Yeah.
And, Scott and I were, again, talking about this yesterday. I don't care if you're a new investigator or you've been here for, in this field for 50 plus years, or if you're as famous as the Warrens. Sorry, just watched The Conjuring. But I don't care how long you've been in the field. You need to tell somebody, I don't care if it's, a senior investigator, a founder, whoever you are, if you're not feeling how you should be feeling, say something. If something's wrong, if you feel something's wrong, something is wrong. Be open and honest with your emotions. Even if it's happy, you're like, say you're really depressed. You just had a really bad day. You're really tired. You're just there just to kind of go through the motions. And then all of a sudden you're feeling like you drank a case of these by yourself in the past 10 seconds. And you're just, all wired. That's not normal. Say something.
No.
The opposite. If you're normally upbeat and happy, and then all of a sudden you start crying because something's wrong, you gotta say something.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
The other thing too I want to talk about is safety with the spiritual side as well, the metaphysical. I mean, we can carry as many stones as we want, but I do know a lot of teens, including myself, we even say prayers. There's prayers of protection that you can pray, and before and after. A lot of people take religion into account, and I feel that's part of the safe. The safer you are, whether you believe or not, the safer you are, the more steps you take, the better of a time you're going to have, the better chances you'll have.
I usually give Doug sage to take with him.
Yeah, I'll sage an area or something afterwards, or sage myself or something afterwards sometimes.
And here's another. That was loud.
Sorry, she's this damn fly keeps.
Yeah, there's a fly.
No, that's all right. Get it.
It needs to die.
Well, then you can investigate it later. But but that's something else too. There is it's a theory because it's the paranormal. But what I always tell spirits when I'm leaving is, look, thank you. I always thank them for any interaction they may or may not have had with me. And I tell them, you are not welcome to come home with me. You are not to leave this area. You're not to leave this property. You're not to leave with anybody that I've, brought in with me tonight. You must stay here, and make sure they understand that, because some people, when you in some spirits, you invite them to talk and stuff like that. Have you ever seen, what's the movie? Ghost Town or something like that?
I don't think so.
What is it? There's this one with this dentist. He has a near-death experience, and basically half of New York of the dead population follow him around. You've got to watch it. It's funny, but that's an effect that could happen in the paranormal. You start talking to these spirits, and other spirits are like, "Wait, they're talking to me. They will, I
want to go too,"
and they will follow. So if you
I heard of that too. I've never, knock on wood, never had any, knock on air. About, like I said, about side effects, about people's mood changing afterwards, or people having nightmares afterwards, and relationship problems and stuff, and all because of attachments and stuff. Thankfully, I've never had that yet, but I mean, it could be a very serious thing as well.
Well, so, I know certain times that you've gone investigating, I've even held certain stones that I was drawn towards, and I would just say out loud to somebody that pops into my mind that maybe has passed, and I would just say, like, can you protect Doug tonight? He's going on an investigation, and he's going here. Just make sure that he's safe. Like, I'm not overly religious, but I'm talking to what I believe will help him in that evening. So
that'd be scary stuff.
This is going to be from the personal side, but Christy, do you have any experience in carrying oils?
I have some oils. They're not like, I'm sure they're just like knockoff ones that I've bought like here and there, but like certain ones that I feel like if I'm going into the groceries or the pharmacy and I see some and I'm like, oh, basil oil. Yeah. And I'll grab that. Like whatever, like I feel like it sticks out. Like whatever sticks out to me in that kind of scent, I will grab it and I will put it wherever. On my pillow at night, I will put it in my diffuser. I will put some on the back of Doug's neck, like whatever. Just
what's that smell?
Like, when I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
The hell?
Whatever I
think,
I'm like, okay,
top of you just drips it.
Yeah. Something's telling me to use this on him at this time. Something is telling me to put it. Like he's been sitting there, and I'm like, I'll bring hematite down. I'll be like, okay, I feel like you need this, like here, and he'll put it in his pocket.
Well, we can always talk a little bit later, but they actually have. Now this is why I like, what I do with the multiple religions and stuff like that. I have studied a little bit of herbology and Wicca. There's actually I don't want to call it a spell, but there is a thing that you can do. It's called a carrier vial. They're tiny little things. I don't know if you guys have a dollar store up there or anything like that, but a lot of little craft stores will have these little vials. You take what's called a carrier oil. Usually you can just use like extra virgin olive oil. It'll work just as well. And take minerals, like little crushed minerals and herbs, and put it in this vial, seal it, and put it on like a necklace, and you can just keep recharging it, and it'll protect you.
Yeah, even spell bags too. I've seen the spell bags.
Native Americans or whatever too.
So
had
get the little mesh bags, and you put certain flowers in it, and you can put some oils on the flowers and stuff like that, and make a spell bag.
Where did she have it? I don't know where she had it, but I made one up for Mackenzie. But
jeez, Matt, you gotta be more prepared.
No, that just ruined my show.
We knew we were talking about spell bags and oils today.
But I actually have a mortar and pestle in my metaphysical bag.
Oh, yeah.
I have all my herbs and stuff like that, and I do herb mixes that are personable to a certain individual. So if somebody says, "Hey, I've been having migraines, I've been feeling down and depressed, or I've been stressed," I will actually feel that person's energy, and I will create a mix of herbs and stones to help them. And all they have to do is just basically aromatherapy. And it's specific just for that person. And actually, I made one for Mackenzie for anxiety. Where did that come from?
That was the fly from here. It just went all the way to PA.
No, that was. Oh wait, black. That's my Riku.
See?
Riku, what? Your hair.
So
my cat.
A monkey? Oh, okay, that's just monkey throwing feces.
No, my cat. Hold on, he's a fluffy SOB. Hold on. Come here.
You don't like fluffy cats, do you?
I know you were asleep, but
no. We like fluffy cats.
No, he is a fluffy SOB. And you'll see
cats
why
and babies. Cats and babies.
Well, you'll see here in a second why I had one of his fur hairs in my mouth.
Oh,
this is my Riku.
Oh yeah.
He is not happy. I just woke him up.
She was just here. I don't
know.
You
need one of those like kind of scratch and sniff, like a environmental thing that you can.
I've actually had him since birth. I had his mom and dad. He's 9 years old, aren't you? My old man.
Well, he's sitting there like a little baby.
Man too. He's fluffy. He's my little diabetic kitty.
You want to sit like a baby? Okay. All right, hold on. We'll sit like. He hates this, but you said it, so I'm going to do it.
He does it?
Oh, yeah.
No, please don't.
What? Look, Riku, you're famous.
Yeah, see? Oh, no.
There he is.
Pretty, too.
Oh, look at his tail. It's so fluffy.
Now I can see why. Yeah, you always get the wind just blows the fur in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my fluffy bastard. I love him. He's we call him my floof. What, you see Riku's getting attention?
Now what about the, like you're talking about like the oils and minerals and whatnot too, but I don't know how it is, because I know like there's a lot of superstitions and stuff back in the day and stuff too. But what about, or like even something you care about, like even animal hair and stuff like that? Can that be used as any type of deterrent or like some kind of at least good luck or protection?
Yeah, as far as like animal fur, I'm not 100%. I know there's some in Native American culture that they do use some hides and fur for status purposes. but as far as the paranormal is concerned, I personally haven't heard anything. I know in Wicca, dark Wicca, they do use fur and stuff like that to burn for different purposes, but I'm not going to get in on that one.
No. And I know spells and stuff too
protection,
can use like human hair and stuff like that too for certain spells and for certain things. So I just didn't know if it could be used as a positive as well as a negative.
Maybe as a protection. If you're do like a protection spell, like if I took some of your hair and put it with like certain herbs and stuff to protect you, maybe like
spices.
I don't see why not, but the problem is with doing anything like that personable. There's, if you'll excuse the pun because we're talking about hair, there is a very fine line that even one word slip up could turn that around. So it's very so
the animals are starting to fill in. Yeah.
Oh, Riku, there's a less fluffier version of you.
She's my cat.
She's Ramsey's cat, but she's
like
what
that
we like to call a little bitch.
She's like
She's a bitch.
I love that stuff. Whack, get away from me.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like sitting there and I'll go to pet her and I'll be like, hi, like get away from me.
Get out of here.
But then again, in the middle of the night, I'll be sleeping
She'll be later.
and she'll just have this paw that comes around my face and she'll start playing with my lip. She's gross.
That's Riku.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you want to talk about moody girl? Hold on.
The one that you're gonna peel off the curtain.
Let's see. We're supposed to talk about paranormal safety, but we've been on like.
Well, it's kind of the same
typical
thing.
show.
But that being said, they see cats see things.
Well, that's true too.
So
they do. They
they
definitely
do.
And this is one of the 3 tortoiseshell kittens that we just rescued not too long ago.
Oh, really?
This is Gray.
Oh, look at that.
How old is he?
Turner's sister. She's probably 8 months.
Oh, really? Still just little.
She's still a baby.
Yeah.
So we rescued them this winter.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the worst thing, though, right? People and things that people do to animals are just.
Well, I don't know if they were just naturally born or what happened, but her dad has a cat named Shiloh, and she's an outdoor only. She only comes in the wintertime because it's too cold, but otherwise, don't bring her in. She'll start screaming.
Really?
She's got a little bit of trauma. Her brain's not fully developed and stuff. She's had some issues. But she's a sweetheart. Like I could sit here and I'll play like cat noises and stuff like that, like kitten cries. She'll come running after me. She'll come trying to find me. And when she realizes it's coming from me, she'll attack me. It's funny.
I was like, what the hell did you do that for?
But she actually found her Gray and her sisters. There's 2 others, Marble and Two-Face. I don't know where Two-Face is. She was here. Now she's gone.
Two-Face?
Two-Face.
Her name's
All right. I might have to go find her. Two-Face. But for one day, we just went outside. I went out for a cigarette or something like that, and her dad was out there, and he goes, "Well, look at this." And I look down, and here comes Shiloh with Gray and 2 of her 2 sisters following.
Really?
Don't know where she found them, but they were outdoor. They were outdoor cats for the longest time. We tried to get them to come in. They wouldn't come in. And then once we got our first really big snowfall, Gray just decided to wander in on her own.
Really?
Two-Face, she was a little skittish, but we got her to come in. And then Marble got stuck in the fence, and her mom had to grab her by the neck and pop her out.
Jeez.
So she almost died.
God.
But yeah, so we brought all 3 of them in.
Yeah. You can't say no to animals, huh?
No, you can't. No.
That's like him. I didn't even want this cat that I just showed you. Her name's Oreo, but we call her Little because she'll be what, 3 this year?
Yeah,
She hasn't grown. She's tiny. So
Have you ever seen the show Fairy Tale?
No.
It's an anime. It's a really good show. about wizards and stuff. The main character is named Natsu.
No, it won't work with that.
Back here, you won't be able to see him, is my Natsu.
Oh yeah.
He's a little orange cat. He's
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah. Right by your head there. Over
There he
there.
is.
Yeah.
There's Natsu.
Okay.
So how many cats do you have?
6. We had 7, but we just had to put Mackenzie's cat sadly
Oh,
down.
that's right. Yeah.
So that was Lucian.
But
So
you
we
know,
have 6.
that being said too, as well. I mean, I guess we always do this. You talk about something that leads to something else, leads to something else. But animal spirits as well.
Yeah.
Very much believe
yeah.
that, Jude. A couple of experiences we had too, as well. That there's no way you can't deny it.
No.
Oh, I've said it, and Mackenzie's already said it. We know Lucian's here.
Yeah,
Lucian's
absolutely.
here. He's watching over us.
That's what they know, right?
Yeah. So I know we've touched on literally every subject, but
Literally.
again, it wouldn't be my show if we didn't. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I think I've got to get going. I've got somewhere I've got to be in 20 minutes and a half-hour drive to get there.
Yeah.
But, but I know we went over a lot. Safety, obviously. Basically, guys, if you're going to go out and investigate, be safe.
Yes.
Cover all your basics. It's not just the physical. It's the mental. It's everything.
Know your
Make
area.
sure you guys are paying attention. Absolutely. And it's okay to go to places 2 or 3 times before you actually investigate it.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine.
Even
Yeah.
wear like a vest, a proper vest, the light vest,
anything.
something.
Anything.
I've done that. I've had the best. I've actually, on some of my team shirts, I put reflector strips down the side.
Yeah. Even that. Yeah.
Great idea.
Anything.
So-
Just be smart.
And always
But
tell
anyway, guys,
them
thank
where
you.
you're going. Don't go somewhere. I've seen him go places, and he's like, "I'm gonna go live." I'm like, "Please do, please go live, so I know if you're like murdered." Like,
Don't mind him in the back. He's fine.
Yeah.
I met a new friend. For some reason, he likes bloodletting, but it's mine.
It's okay.
we're good.
I'm tired now.
But he just keeps doing it. I'm gonna take a nap. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I'm Chrissy.
Yeah, no
Glad
problem.
you accepted the invitation.
Of course, I had to make sure that I did. If not, I would just get harassed like Lee does.
Yeah. Which, by the way, one last thing. I just remembered. Tomorrow, and you guys definitely don't want to miss it. Anybody watching, you guys don't want to miss it. Tomorrow, in the beginning of the stream of Paranormal Campfire, Scott showed me a haunted house that is the creepiest thing I've ever seen. Not to mention the activity inside. Apparently, there is an old man there that is just grumpy as just really violent. And I can picture from the outside. You guys don't want to miss that.
That's
You
sweet.
don't want to miss it. So, but anyway, guys, we'll catch up with you guys later. Have a great day, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you too.
Take care.
See ya.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that was Christy and Doug from Paratime. I really appreciate their time. I'm sorry that the times were a little off today. Like I said, I have some things I have to do. I do apologize, but we'll get it figured out. But tomorrow, don't forget to join me 8:30 p.m. I'm gonna have Doug, Scott. I just had Doug, Scott, Al, Dan, and Casey. We're gonna be going live for Paranormal Campfire. It's a well-awaited and anticipated show. I cannot wait. It is gonna be so much fun, guys. Please join me. As always, guys, don't forget to hit that like button, follow for more of these videos. This Thursday ones I really like and I enjoy. Let's keep them going. So show me some love, share the videos, stay safe, and as always, guys, happy hauntings.